there, my name is Oliver for Tutorialpilot and welcome to our Trapcode Tao organic abstract tutorial. So first I'm going to show you what we will create today. Some cool 3D movement through some fancy organic looking veins. Okay, you can use that for intro animations, logo animations, whatever you like to. So let's get started, jump in, make a new composition. Make it HD, make it frame rate of your choice and make it 10 seconds. That's okay for now and hit OK. So next is we need a bunch of solids. So go to Layer, New Solid and call it BG for background. Then another one, Layer, New Solid and we call it Tao. Hit OK. And next is we need a camera, Layer, New Camera, make it 35 millimeters and hit OK. So then select the Tao layer and with your pen tool, just draw a shape as you like. Something that looks a little bit organic, maybe so. Doesn't matter how it looks like, it just has to fit to your needs and to your fantasy, what you want to have there. Okay? So if you're done with that, select the Tao layer and go to your effects and presets. And if you already have installed Tao, which is a plugin from Trapcode, and you can download a trial version if you don't have Tao on redgiant.com. And then Tao shows up in your effects and presets, and just double click on Tao, and here we go. So the first thing that looks a little bit confusing is this circle, because you don't have painted any circle. And that's because of Tao in its parse generator, which is the first drop-down menu, automatically creates a circle if you have the generate path selected. So we deselect that, and now the circle is gone. Now you can adjust also the shape you draw it on the fly as you like. Okay? So we close that and we go to our segments section, and you leave the segments mode on extrude n-gon, which is fine, and we increase the segments so we get a much more smoother result here going on. Let's do it maybe 80 just for the achievement, and the sides up to, let's try 12 just for the looking. Okay, let's try 24, looks better. Okay, here we go. And in the path from masks section, which is one above the segments, we go in there and we turn on taper size, which gives your shape an organic look. And you can adjust the taper start and end, and also the end path and end start. So if you choose that, it starts later. You can do some animations here, whoop, as you see. And you can adjust end and start position. It will bring the start position a bit down and the end position a bit up. Or maybe we leave the end position on 20. Looks cool. So, 50. Sorry. Okay, that's it. Next is we go to our repeat path drop-down. And this is something which is very confusing if you open that for the first time, because there are so many features and you first have no idea what to do with all these features. And I will go step by step through these features. They are needed for this kind of tutorial, and this is not so confusing because we touch only 4 or 5 of them. Okay? The first one, it controls the repetition of your shape. Means if you do a 4, you got 4 times a copy of your shape in each direction. Means 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4 in left position and 1, 2, 3, 4 in right position. Okay. If you want to have 4 duplicates, just go to 3 or 2, and now you can just increase, decrease. Okay. So we leave it on 4. Oh, not 40, 4. Okay. And next is you can adjust them, arrange them in world X, Y, and Z position. Means if you increase this value, you see you increase the settings from left to right. Okay? You can do that also for the Y position or the Z position. Okay? Next is we want to rotate all these things, and therefore you have your rotate. Also again, rotate random is the top, and then rotate X, Y, and Z. Okay, if you do a random rotation, it rotates in X, Y, and Z space randomly. It touches all of these settings. We leave this on 0. And we want to rotate that thing, X, Y. Let's try the X-axis. This is what we want. Do something like so. Okay. Maybe we achieve, you can already achieve your shape, as you see. Here we want to bring that so, and this one we push down like so, and this one a bit more up like so. Then we got a cool organic looking. Okay. Let's try to rotate that by so. And rotate. No, it doesn't look fine. Like so. A bit much, too much, less so, like so. Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. Okay. This is what we do here for now. You can also increase randomness, the size of your shapes, one smoother, one bigger. In each direction, left, right, top, bottom, X, Y, and Z, and also the segment position and texture offset and all that stuff. We don't need that for now. We close the first repeater, and the second repeater we don't touch, but I will explain what it does. The second repeater is the same like the first repeater, but that will repeat the whole geometry several times, and also again in X, Y, and Z rotation, and space and all that crap, okay? That's the second repeater. So first is make the first instances, and this one does instances of all instances together. Okay? So now we go to the shading. For that, we need a light. Go to Layer, New Light. Make it a point light, and hit OK. And make sure that you point it in, bring it into the middle of all these 3D geometry. So for that, I go to my top view. Zoom out a little bit, and I see here's the camera, here's my light, and here's my 3D object. So I bring this just in the center of my 3D object, okay? And I will double check that from the left view. Here's my 3D geometry. This is my camera looking in the left direction, and the light sits in the middle of all these, let me call it vanes, okay? So that's what I want. I go back to Tao and to my active camera view. Here we go, and we see here sits the lights, and the lighting comes from the center of our geometry. Now, what we will change is we will go to the render settings, and first is we change the shader from flat to density. Okay, and we go to our material and lighting settings. And therefore, the first thing we touch is the light fall off, and we change that from none to smooth. And now you have the possibility to change the light radius and the light distance. So if you increase the light radius, you see it affects the 3D object. As smaller, as less light, as less the radius, as bigger the radius. Normally you have here in the light options the same possibility to change the radius and the fall off, but that will not affect the Tao object. So you don't have to change anything here except the intensity, because it will not affect Tao in any way. So we have to change these settings here in Tao, which is for the first time a little bit confusing, but if you're familiar with that, yeah, you know it, and you know where to touch and where to achieve and tweak the settings, okay? So next what we will do is bring diffuse holdout to nearly close to 0. and play a bit with ambient diffuse, maybe to 80, and the diffuse also to, let's try 40, and go to the light settings here and increase the light intense by something like so. Okay. Now we go back to Tao and we go to our color in the material and lighting and give him a cool orangish color. Maybe like so. Okay. And we will go to our image-based lighting within the material and lighting settings and give him a cool HDR look, which is dark industrial. And here we go, we see we got this metal look and this subsurface scattering going on here inside the center of my veins from the light. Okay, now I want to play again with the light radius. We'll bring it a little bit down and increase a bit the light in 10th. So I want to have much more lighting going on there. And I go back to Tao and play with the diffuse and ambient settings. A bit more diffuse. Ambient is okay. Now we'll change to the rendering settings of Tao and play with the dense effect and normal effect. So if you increase the normal effect, if we decrease it, we got much more subsurface going on there, or fake subsurface. And if we increase the dense or decrease the dense, nothing will happen. Okay, so for now, this is okay here. Next is we will take care of our background. We go to BG layer and apply a 4-color gradient. Here we go. And we bring the green to black, also the purple to black. Okay, purple, black, and the blue to yellow. And then we will achieve the yellow to an orange. Maybe just take something from here. Yeah, and the same we do from the upper side. Take this one. Okay, now we got a cool lighting in the background. Play with the anchor points a little bit. Okay, that looks not so bad right now. Now we go back to Tao again, and we will increase the geometry data here. So we go to our segments, and we will increase the sides to 46. Two less, so 128. Oops, 128. Better. Now we have a very smooth texture going on there. Maybe we increase the segments a bit to, let's try 250. To smooth all these things going on. That looks very, very cool. The final touch will be a shine effect. So we go to our composition. We go to layer, new solid, or new adjustment layer. Take an adjustment layer and call that shine. And if you already have the Trapcode suite installed, you also find the plugin called Shine. And we apply that to the shine adjustment layer. Here we go. We go to our shine adjustment layer and change the colorize from 3-color gradient to, let's try fire. And play with the ray length and maybe a bit boost in the light, just a touch. Okay. We go to our camera and the Z-Track tool and zoom in a little bit. Here we go. And we have to tweak one more setting, which is in the Tao, and you go to rendering, and here you have the super sampling. If you have it switched off, you will get flickering of the reflections which go on there. So turn it on, and in final mode you can crank it up to something like 64 or 49 to get a much better result. Okay. Next is we duplicate our background layer, string D, delete the 4-color gradient and go to our effects and presets and say CC star burst. Apply that. Got some cool flakes here, and we play a bit with the settings. We scatter them up a little bit, spread them out a little bit, and bring the speed down to 0.01 because it's a pre-animated effect, a star field fly through, and so if you increase this or if you decrease this to 0.1, you got little motion but not so much going on there. Okay? What DAO does not have and does not affect it is the camera depth of field option. So there's no chance to get a depth of field in DAO, which is, yeah, let me say, it's. I'm sorry for that. Hopefully the guys from Red Giant and Trapcode fix that in the next version, because that would be a cool feature if you can do the depth of field directly in DAO. There is a little workaround to fix that. I will explain that in another tutorial, but to give you the idea what to do is, if you go to your render mode, you can render also a Z-depth normalized pass, which is this, and switch off super sampling. And here you got the idea what is going on. As lighter these veins, as nearer that to the camera, as darker, as nearer that to the camera. So you can render a Z-depth pass. You have also to hide the background, of course. You can render a Z-depth pass from your final animation, and then just bring it back and use some third-party plugins like Frischluft, depth of field, or even the built-in camera lens blur. I think it's called so. Let me see. CC camera lens blur, and take effect of the Z-depth pass. You can choose between the depth, and this is with all the glowing going on, and the Z-depth normalized. Shut off all effects, so you got a pure black and white composition, and maybe tweak a little bit the lighting settings to get really these areas bright white, which is in the focus, and this area much more darkened by out of focus. Yeah, that's a little bit of workaround. It's not so fine, it's not so cool, but there's no chance to fix that otherwise. Or you can do it quick and dirty like we do. So we go back to super sampling on, and full render, and the shine effect on also, and the BG also. And we will make another adjustment layer, lay a new adjustment layer, and we will apply a fast blur on that. Here we go. And then we will draw a shape. Hold down string shift to make a perfect circle. Bring the blurriness to something like so, maybe 66, that's okay. Invert the mask. Feather the mask by hitting MM on the keyboard. So feather it like so, and mask expansion up, just to get an idea what we do there. So for now, it's definitely a faked depth of field effect, which makes the foreground blurry and the background sharp, but it's the fastest way to work around this. You can also tweak your DAO shape if you like to, already include all these shadings to see what happens there, to achieve the geometry, to tweak it, even push that further. You even can add some geometry if you like to. Just grab the pen tool and draw another shape. Which shows off here. And you can attach, or you can adjust also again in the DAO material and lighting settings, the light radius, bring it down a bit so you got much more glowing on in the middle and got much better shading here. It's up to you. Hope you got the idea what you can do with that. Of course, you can bring in your logo just here and do some cool background animation. This is how you can do some cool looking organic shapes in Trapcode Tao. Hope you got the idea. Hope you follow us on YouTube, like us on YouTube, and follow us on Facebook. My name is Oliver for Tutorialpilot. Thank you very much and bye.